Alright, welcome back to more Roadwarden, everybody. Let's hope that the mic, or that I don't have some kind of bad feedback this time. So let's get right onto it. You leave the pond behind and approach the woods. Even from a distance, you can see a distinct trail leading between the trees. It's not a forest garden, but it's not bad. With every word, the man's voice gets more cheerful. It's not that gloomy, and I haven't seen a cat there in a year. But with no cats, there are boars there now. And as there are boars, there are also more gargoyles. Excuse me. He sighs. His steps get lighter, and so he leaps forward and bows to you, showing you the tip of its furry hood. Better not go too deep, kind stranger. There are no roads there. His face is not much older than 20, shaved with great care, cleaner even than among the city folk, while his hood and heavy cloak mask his figure. He seems well fed and healthy, and that's why he was fighting a dinosaur for a small ibex. Huh. Also, it's really dark and late. I have to head back. I'm not a pathfinder. The wilderness isn't for me. It isn't for anyone at all. He laughs and straightens up. But still, it's a safer place than most. We even walk from foggies to our homes after dark. Not a soul has died like that in, what, 2 years? His words are full of pride, but we're halfway there, friend. Creeks is a gorgeous place. You know, you'll love it. Okay, I'm sure I will. I guess I'm going forward and hoping this guy's gonna offer me a home. The road is gentle, but the man is incapable of being silent. Every unusual tree seems to be tied to a story from his life, and he makes sure that you notice the first stream you cross on a new, solid bridge. One of many creeks, you see, he says with untamed amusement. A thin gorge leads you between the mountains. This place is quite susceptible to bandits. You follow the trail of shouts and laughter. 7 people, about 20 years old each, are gathered at the wooden bridge, leaning against the railing, bathing in the stream, lying on the grass. Pieces of clothing made of fur and leather are spread around, next to cudgels and throwing clubs. Once the sound of hooves manages to break through the chattering, the curious, young eyes, untouched by wartime, turn toward you, and an excited whisper spreads. The cells are proudly displayed, and the confident smiles are both inviting and challenging. How is water? The hunter greets his tribesfolk while stepping on the logs. Gentle and warm, says a man resting on his friend's shoulder. Caught any squirrels? There are paths leading in many directions, but the main road will take you uphill. Awkward. As I walk past the naked people, I look at the watchtower. I'll go with that one. The hills around you form a valley, most likely spread from here to the very coast. The main spring supplying the creek is cutting through the walls high above you. The bridge is young and robust, enduring the weight of the wanderers silently, as well as your mountain belongings. A single person is waving to you from the tower, but the roof makes it difficult for you to see what they look like. Your guide speaks with enthusiasm. We keep our soul there at all times, friend. Unless the night's so dark one can't even see the gate. It's not hard work, but it's boring, he says in a long sing-song voice. I follow the twisting path. It didn't twist that much. A palisade is as tall as trees, but being placed on the top of the crags makes it look impassable. What? Why is the gate closed? The hunter turns to the watchtower and repeats his question, only louder. Maybe call Ayla. Too blind to see we have a guest, eh? A hardly visible guard with a feeble voice leans from the tower. He's coming, Howler. Relax. No, he's coming, Howler. Relax. Her shouts hint of no patience toward him. The young dine in the woods after the bath. Why wouldn't we close? The man glances at you. Who's Ayla? I whisper. Just my brother. He gestures for you to ignore it. And I'm Ephraim. So, thanks to our parents, folks keep mistaking our names. But Ayla has a stick in his ass and is as boring and naggy as a legless donkey. Huh. The soul from the tower hides again, and the gate opens. We enter the village. The sparse clumps of grass survive only on the edges of this spacious yard. The few onlookers wear working clothes, suitable for their hard labor. They're carrying tools, planks, and logs. You're next to a large building of unusual shape, either a temple or a house of gathering. It makes you think of a cabin that's been getting larger over the course of the years, with the section in the middle being darker and more crude than the other ones. Excuse me. A slightly overweight man is standing in front of the building, with open arms. Welcome to Creek's friend. His voice and eyes are gentle, but there's vigor in his stance and gestures. Ephraim was meant to hunt, but I see he brought a very unusual creature. The hunter rolls his eyes. Don't embarrass us with this prattle. He then raises his voice. I almost brought us an ibex, but this traveler was no help. Long story. At least I tried. Huh. Ayla's smile gets replaced by a raised eyebrow. I trust you made the right decision, friend. While I introduce myself, I observe him more closely. Being close to 30 years old, he's one of the older souls around. Just like the other villagers, he has clothes made of animals, not plants. The leather pants and jacket are humble, but the shoulder cape, reaching from his neck to elbows, used to belong to a yellow elk. His brown skin is darker than that of a farmer, and as you look at the outreached hands, they carry the marks of being cut by tools. And I'm Ayla, the carpenter. He takes a step forward. He takes a step toward the fruit trees and invites you to move forward. While most men in the village, like most men in the village, he's cleanly shaved. How about I show you the rest of the village? It may be humble, but it's as beautiful as a blue starling. Might be too dark to see, but thanks, Ayla. That sounds lovely. Probably should have helped him fight that Saurian. As he grins, you notice his unusual white teeth. He moves with heavy but enthusiastic steps. It won't really take that long, but we have quite a view. The hunter gives you an embarrassed look. Don't indulge him too much, friend, he says without lowering his voice. He'd be proud of a falling wheelbarrow. Let's take a stroll then, says Ayla, as he leads you forward. Your mount can drink at the creek. Come, Sordo. You tether your mount to a tree, next to a drying laundry. Ayla points at the land behind the bridge proudly. Our newest addition to the village. The hunters grow old, so we are taking steps away from meats and fruits. You spot only 2 people working in the field. This late at night. Or rather, a large garden covered with cabbages, carrots, onions, and garlic, indistinguishable from the wild plants growing in the woods. On the path between the 2 halves of the field, an elderly woman is sitting on a stool, looking in your direction, as if you are interrupting her contemplation. Old Hava there will turn this place into a proper farm one day. She has little strength, but keeps precious memories of her trade. She seems austere. Ephraim snorts, holding his laughter. Just be happy you haven't grown under her. I'm lucky to have my ears, after all the pulling and pinching. Don't overcolor, she cares a lot. Ayla invites you with a gesture to follow him deeper into the village. At least about the quiet, children. Just let her do the talking. The fewer things you say, the fewer reasons for her to get upset. Yeah, I know the type. The bonfire is surrounded by logs that were cut into tables and stools. Ayla approaches the nearest chair, rubbing its back with his cut hands. When we share a meal, We do so here, sometimes beneath the stars. You'd have to see it. The flame dances on the walls of the monster roars. Okay, let me do that again. You'd have to see it. The flames dance on the walls to the monster roars and crickets. Oh, okay, it must be around here then. Ephraim's voice also grows in enthusiasm. Dining at the edge of the forest is something you wouldn't forget. Unless you can drink. Don't swallow anything stronger than spoiled ibex milk. The shadows, friend. Terrifying. You glance at the wooden buildings. While the walls seem fine, the roofs are primitive, mostly made of planks that are already soggy and bent. There are a few people working on cleaning bark from the log, but the square is mostly quiet, with a few kids observing you from above their toys. 16 would look like one big family. I'll go with that one. I imagine what such dinners would look like. One big family. Ella flashes you a disarming white smile. Yeah, a huge one. We don't have any rooms to spare. Dang. He looks at the children as they return to their crude wooden toys. They don't realize yet how small our home is. They've hardly seen anyone from their world outside, and the trade occurs at Foggy Lake. And good for them, the hunter chips in. They don't miss much. Other than spouses, we have everything we need. And, that could be useful for me to get money. And so far, we have plenty of fresh meat. Some of us even too much. He smirks at the carpenter, who in response turns and walks away. I follow him. You stand between two of the houses, in front of the gate of an animal pen. The walls are made of sharpened trunks and are as tall as two humans. The captured beasts are tethered by ropes, but have enough freedom to wander and graze. 2 brown boars and a black milk nut. And here are our captives, Ephraim declares proudly. I know it's still a bit empty, but we'll crowd it just before winter. So this village is mostly of, I guess, young men and children. So where are most of the adults, aside from that old lady? Let's see. Are you going to care for them in winter? The hunter swallows loudly, already thinking about his next meal. Nah, they're here just for the meat and skin. Once the snow falls, we'll butcher them. The carpenter gives him a sullen glance, then squeezes the lower edge of his jacket. I'd love to keep them with us. I don't even like meat. We could start a movement herd, or any other, but it's too dangerous with such weak defenses. He leans on the gate. Our houses are too small for them, and having loud beasts outside during cold months would lure predators. We tried. He falls silent for a bit, and once he picks up the conversation, his voice returns to its previous proud tone. You'll understand better if you take a look at our old forest friend. He points at the area behind the palisade. I look north. There's something there. The vast clearing is returning to life, with shrubs spread between the paths and tree stumps. You move to the ridge, then a gateway, and have a chance to look around. We can see the edge of our world from the watchtower, Ella narrates sublimely. In the long distance, the plateau ends, surrounded by trees. You either climb up the mountains or fall to your death. Both men tell you about the difficult past of the village. A desperate camp, then a cabin, then 2, shifting its wooden walls as more and more trees were cut. Without tree crowns, we can walk with no shadows, beast dens, gargoyle eyes, concludes the carpenter. Let's see, is it really better than a forest garden? No, let's see, excuse me. It's still early in the morning. I'm surprised that the wrath of the herds hasn't smitten you yet. These pointed sticks won't stop a unicorn. Okay, so that's all it is. It's not really a tall wall like the front. It's just crossed, kind of, I don't know what they're called. But logs just crossed and pointed at the top. Huh. For the most part, I've been choosing things that didn't sound like I was judging them too harshly. But I don't think I could avoid that this time. Better than a forest, right? I don't really know what that means. Yeah, I guess won't stop a unicorn. Do unicorns eat meat? Oh no, it's just like unicorns are kind of a flimsy creature. So saying it won't stop a unicorn is to say that it's flimsy against everything. Nothing will, friend, the hunter counters. Dang it. And the carpenter is eager to follow. I think the landscape. Blocking the path here was one of the first things our predecessors took care of, and it may be that the beasts don't realize how much this place has changed. He tells you there's one more thing to see, and continues his tale as you walk away. From time to time, something reaches our territory. We feel safe among the bushes, but not so that we would send a child there. We have plans. So many lifetimes won't be enough to complete them. Huh, he says with a mix of melancholy and excitement, making Ephraim listen with attention. I want to see a stone wall with a walk for archers, weapons made of copper, a tannery set at its own camp, so we're free of its tents. Farmers, fishers, sorcerers, herbalists. You return to the main square again. The words of a dreamer, the hunter pats his companion's back. First, we need to learn how to feed our children. We lack strength and skill. Ephraim looks at you, but we have time. I nod. With time comes opportunity. Whoops. You reach the edge of the village. A cliff as tall as the wall. Beneath you. Oh yeah, beneath you, two creeks meet each other and form a gentle river. Okay. Where is that again? Edge of the village. I don't see where the other creek would be. Huh. Let's see, where was I? Gentle river. These are the trees we use to learn more about woodwork. Ella is smiling as he leans his back against the wall of a house. We plant new ones, but we'll soon have to bring wood from further away. Give the saplings a few years, or however long they grow. A decade. And this is where I leave the two of you with your boring treetops. Ephraim points at you. See you later if you need. I'll be around. I rarely hunt alone. The carpenter watches his departing companion with genial eyes. Well, there's work to be done. A new chair awaits me. He leads you to a humble working station, placed at the edge of the square. The tools you notice are very simple, if not primitive. We don't have to talk about my trade, Krim. What brings you to us? Alright. So I really hope this recording didn't mess up. But I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bye.